They have lost their last two, and it's been a long time since the Mustangs have dropped 3 in a row at home. Wichita State wins the tip. Michael Stevens, Zelton Steve, Byron Jarrett are officials. And good news for the Shockers. Landry Shamet, after missing Wednesday's game against Tulane with an illness, back in the starting lineup. Up top it goes to Shaq Morris, who has been...
When he brought energy, brought offensive rebounding ability and ability to score points in the paint, Wichita
20 plus in 4 of his last 7 as he splits the pair from the line. SMU 16 and 12. It was a season of NCAA tournament aspirations for the Mustangs, but that starting lineup does not feature Shake Milton, potential first-round pick, nor Jeray Foster, their second leading scorer, who tore his ACL 5 weeks ago against Wichita State. The Mustangs are down to 7 scholarship players.
And they will work shot clock. If they can't score in the first 3 seconds, they're going to move the ball just like that. Well done, great spacing. As a Meligu, who has an injured right hand as well, it's dinged up, knocks down the shot.
Yeah, playing with right wrist time tonight is Ben Meligu, but still the best three-point shooter in the American this year, nearly 50%. Shamet and Reeves, by the way, the 2 starting guards for Wichita State, 2nd and 3rd. Rashard for the Mustangs, the offense has dipped.
And he dropped 33 in the roundhouse as Landry Shamet bangs the 3 ball. I think he's just fine, thank you very much.
Shamet, Wichita State's leader in points and assists, the conference leader at over 5 assists per game. A Wooden midseason 25 player, a Naismith late 30 player. SMU is a small lineup with just the 7 scholarship players. Jimmy Witt, who can play point guard, is more than 3 in this spot. Jamal McMurray and Elijah Landrum. McMurray 0 is the top scorer right now for SMU.
Good entry pass.
Morris off the feed from Zach Brown.
Now Zach Brown, when he does those little things, it will show up in the scorebook as an assist, but Zach Brown that time did a good job of recognizing that Shaq Morris was open.
Freshman Elijah Landrum holds the Mustangs. You mentioned the slow tempo. They play at the 338th fastest pace in the nation. That's among the slowest 15 teams in America. And now we go for Woods. No, Kelly came over to help. Rashard Kelly up to low, not a great shooter. Austin Reeves is, and he hits.
Factor guy that really makes this team go at times.
3-year starter at small forward out of Houston, Texas. 8 in a row for Wichita State as Reeves misses a free throw, which is rare for him, 85% from the line. Shockers, one of the best offensive teams in America. Question for this team, how deep can they go? Maybe, how good can they be defensively? They have not been good this year in conference play on defense. Shaq Morris against the court. The 6th year available if he chooses to take it. Began his career at Louisville, moved to Georgetown. First-year Mustang. Free throws not quite at a premium early on. Teams are combined 1 for 4 from the line to start.
SMU consistently mixing and matching defenses. Settle back in the 2-3 zone. They showed a 1-3-1 already. Big-time screen by Shaq Morris.
Here is Brown. High rebound to Ben Meligu.
Here's where SMU wants to get into their offensive flow before Wichita State gets back. They got set. 5 black jerseys in a defensive stance, just like that.
Mustangs snapped a 5-game losing streak Wednesday when at East Carolina, where the offense started to come alive. This 3 there by Jamal McMurray leads to a transition try for Shamet. Rashard Kelly crashing the glass, and Morris throws it wildly. Shamet now feeds Brown. Some good looks, but no points. Here is Jimmy Witt, transfer from Arkansas. Not a 3-point shooter, he's only hit 1 out of the year. SMU, a great 3-point shooting team for most of the season, but school to vacate its national championship.
Wichita State catapulted from that Final Four to the Sweet 16 the next season. They went to the NCAA with 2 more wins the season after that. Beat Dayton, lost to Kentucky in 2017. It's been a highly productive NCAA tournament March by the Wichita State Shockers.
They have won at least one tournament game in 5 consecutive years. Wichita State, one of only 5 schools to do that. As Austin Reeves hits the 2. The other 4, North Carolina, Gonzaga, and Oregon, 3/4 of last year's Final Four, plus in-state Kansas. Ethan Shagwa into the game, the young big for SMU, number 5.
And you might remember they knocked off the Jayhawks.
That's right.
They to Sweet 16 a few years back. Few people remember that in the state of Kansas, by the way.
You think so?
Yeah.
I haven't forgotten that one yet.
Just a few.
Of course, they don't play in the regular season anymore, those 2, Wichita State and Kansas.
So I wonder why.
Andrew Shamet.
I think it's a cultural flaw in college basketball that big budget programs won't go on the road and play.
Murray will go to the locker room right now. So
that's the last thing they need.
7 scholarship players, Mark, and Jamal McMurray has become their really only
injury. It's been a nightmare for Tim Jankovic, an absolute nightmare.
Reeves misses a 3. Offensive rebound to Shamet. Around the screen from Ronno Nerger. Back to Shamet from McDuffie. And a line drive 3 is short, but Darrell Willis is there. Nerger going to work inside. No. A fight for the loose ball. Picked up by Willis. And he was early. Freshman William Douglas to inbound. And Benamelagou will face little resistance from the Wichita State pressure. Mustangs offense has dropped considerably with Milton Foster out of the lineup. First time these teams met 5 weeks ago, SMU went into the roundhouse and won 83-78. Milton had a career-high 33 in that game. It was also the game where Foster tore his ACL. And Melagou with 2 to shoot. The last 4 in both games on his network. He has
consecutive conference championships in a row. What a run by Bill Self in Kansas. Of course, Texas Tech won at Fall Gallon Fieldhouse earlier this season.
Wichita State, one of the longest streaks in the nation, but everybody is well short of Kansas. And of course, that streak for Wichita State of conference titles comes from the Missouri Valley. First year after 72 years. Happier than he was with us this morning.
Oh, that was awesome. We were going to share with you the one thing you didn't know about Tim Jankovic, which was awesome.
McMurray is
early Tuesday.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nerger on him, gave it to Shagwa, who goes in for the stop.
I love that big freshman. Still coming off that injury, but he's starting to look better and better every minute that he plays. Big number 5 in white for SMU.
Here's McDuffie. Rebound by Elijah Landrum, the freshman bursting out of the pack. McMurray a 3. Jamal McMurray a couple of games ago was 9 for 19 from 3-point range alone against Memphis. You cannot leave him beyond the arc.
Well, Shaq Morris and Landry Shamet out of the game. We'll see what Wichita State does to score here.
Darrell Willis lost it. Shagwa hand in there. Now Reeves alone. Reeves a deep 3.
He is fearless. He's one of those sit-down, shut-up guys. When the crowd's going crazy, you need one guy's got guts to tell everybody, all right, I got this sit-down, shut-up. Austin Reeves is that guy. He goes and gets you buckets at big times.
He did not have a great game on Wednesday either. 4 fouls, played only 18 minutes. Here's the freshman Douglas. A 3 for William Douglas, who was just 7 for 29 from deep before that shot.
Yeah, he's starting to get his game legs now for SMU. Inexperienced, but rising to the occasion in this decimated roster.
Douglas right now guarding the much taller Nerger. On a bounce feed, McDuffie. Wichita State, 3rd in the nation in assists at 18.9 per game.
SMU doubled the post and did not rotate. And all of a sudden, a wide open Marcus McDuffie coming right down the gut.
And McDuffie is starting to look better the last couple of games. Missed the first 11 this year with a stress fracture in his left foot.
That's a great point, Kevin. He looks like he did last season. He's got that lateral quickness now that he didn't have earlier in the season.
McMurray around a hard Shagwa screen. Buries another 3.
Big Big-time screen by number 5, Shagwa.
And Landrum with a steal. Jumped in front of the pass from Reeves. McMurray left it well short. And Reeves lost to Texas in the mid-1990s.
First of all, that was very cool. And he's a very talented guy in a lot of different ways. But I asked him, tell me one thing about you. I thought that was really, really cool. And by the way, chicks dig it.
To our knowledge, no video. But I think we're right about the 25th anniversary of that, so maybe the reunion tour is in order.
I think he should take that guitar into his recruiting, his in-home recruiting sessions.
Why not?
I think it'd be great, it'd be fun.
Darryl
What
Willis
parent wouldn't enjoy that?
I'm not a parent, but I would. I'm just going to speak for future me. Douglas.
I have a parent, my wife would love it.
There you go.
Absolutely love it.
You ever play guitar on a recruiting trip when you were coaching?
I have no talent.
Glockenspiel?
No, I have no talent. Kazoo, maybe.
Whoa, Morris, in the league in field goal percentage, and he really can step out and score. That shot is an anomaly for Shaq.
Watch SMU in the white jerseys. Watch how they spread the floor and they probe for dribble penetration on mismatches. Right there, Jimmy Witt gets an avenue. Shagwa's open. Good execution by SMU.
SMU is shooting a lot of threes right now. Is that smart?
You take what the defense gives you, and Wichita State has changed defensively. We're there more.
Some terrific three-point shooting teams. Temple and Tulane have really lit them up of late. And it seems like the one area the Shockers could have the greatest room for improvement as they move on into March.
Well, the scouting report is you can beat Wichita State off the dribble and then create options. Jimmy Witt was the option that time. Yeah. Came into the arena for another hour afterwards and worked on his shot, and specifically worked on his free throw.
We'll host Texas at 9 Eastern, 8 Central. Both games here on ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN app.
Grayson Allen has been on fire for Duke. He's led them in scoring the past 4 games, had 28 against Louisville. Grayson Allen playing like an All-American.
All this with Marvin Bagley out for the Blue Devils. SMU has the lead. It is a 14-5 Mustang run. Connor Frankamp, first shot of the afternoon is a wayward one. The rebound to Jimmy Witt. Lanky 6'3" redshirt sophomore. Witt draws the contact against Reeves. SMU has attacked Reeves a couple of times, but Witt left it on the deck.
Yeah, Jimmy Witt feels like he can expose number 12 Austin Reeves defensively. Continue to attack.
Frankamp. This time he connects. Connor Frankamp. He was so good on Wednesday with Landry Shaman out. 32 minutes, one shy of a career high with 18, and continued to play turnover-free basketball. He leads the nation in lowest turnover percentage.
He also has a career 4.9 to 1 a turnover ratio. Almost 5 assists to 1 for his career. That's better than Monte Morris, who has the best of all time.
Shagwa took it into Morris. Shaq, that is. Got a good one here at SMU. Mustangs short-handed, but they are so tough to beat in this venue. 63, beg your pardon, 6 at the renovated Moody Coliseum. Shaq Moore.
Progress being made, so I'm excited.
We saw you out here before the game. Team had finished up in film session. You were getting up shots. How comfortable are you with what you can do right now on a court?
I'm pretty comfortable. It's hard with the splint that they have me playing in, and then of course it wears down pretty quickly. My hand does, so you kind of just have to monitor it and take it day by day.
Shake, you were so good at the roundhouse, all the Wichita State.
I think it was just a combination of the coaches, their game plan that they had for me, and then also my teammates did a really good job of trusting me and giving me confidence, and I think I just tried to take it from there.
Speaking of that game plan, break down SMU early in this basketball game, their game plan. What do you like about their execution so far?
I like
we earlier in the broadcast, we showed your coach, Tim Jankovic, playing some guitar, showing off his acoustic skills. Are you familiar with that? Have you seen him play?
No, I've never seen him play, but I heard he had a little bit of talent. I'm about to check up on it and see what's about it. That's about it.
So he's a little bit of a mad scientist. What is it like playing for Tim Jankovic?
He's a coach you always have to stay on your toes for. The X's and O's are really his thing. He does a really good job of getting us to have energy and go in there and really be focused and ready to learn.
Shake, you had Semi Ojeleye a year ago, Sterling Brown a year ago, who both went through the NBA process. And at some point in your career, I'm sure you're looking forward to that opportunity. Maybe not now, but sometime in the future. What did you learn by watching them go through the process?
I really just tried to take specific notes on their work ethic. I saw how much they were in the gym. I saw they would get up in the morning, they'd be in there late at night, and I think most of all it was just about the work that they put in. And I keep in touch with them from time to time and ask them what it's like and things like that. But
an injury, but we're thankful you took a few minutes out of your afternoon to spend it with us right now. You just saw Akoy Agau draw a charge, by the way. That is something that I think has become a hallmark of your team, right? Drawing charges, extra rotation, the extra effort with some of the scholarship restrictions in the program. You guys weren't deep last year and still had a terrific run.
Yeah, and I think that definitely has to do a lot with our seniors that we had and the older guys that we have this year. You know, they're willing to sacrifice their body and do whatever the team needs for us to win. So it's helping.
Well, we got a timeout at Easter with NBA Countdown, also available on the ESPN app. Out of the Tim Jankovich timeout, William Douglas is denied. Shaq Morris with the rejection for Wichita State. Reeves off for Morris. No. Second chance. Yes.
Just relentless. Wichita State now turning up the heat and dialing up the pressure and the pace.
7 offensive rebounds for the Shockers, who are third in the country in rebound margin. Jamal McMurray with a couple of threes for SMU. Reeves is on him. Shockers have gone to a zone look here.
And SMU taking their time, frankly, because they need the break. They're so short. They've got to rest on offense at times.
And McMurray is up to 8. Nice runner to bring SMU back within 3. Transfer from South Florida, Jamal McMurray. Kelly, Morris with a one-hand catch. Shockers with a rebounding edge in every game but 2 this year.
Guys, they guard the heck out of you.
Why do you think that's become the identity of this conference?
I think Cincinnati has been the leader in that, quite frankly. I think what Mick Cronin has done, and everybody copies the best program in their leagues many times. I think Mick Cronin and Cincinnati have set that standard high for years now at Cincinnati.
Curious if that changes at all with Wichita State coming in and becoming much more of an offensive force than a lot of these teams in the American. There's 3 by Landrum Reeves there for the rebound. C.J. Kaiser to the game for Wichita State. He was terrific on Wednesday off the bench. McDuffie in the corner at 3.
Wichita State's doing against the zone. How many times are they getting the ball in the dead zone just below the free throw line and then kicking it back out? It's every possession they are exposing that spot.
McDuffie on McMurray right now. And that's an offensive foul. Fultz, Dennis Smith, among others. You saw some of the schools with those players on that graphic. There are a whole bunch of them. One former Wichita State player, Fred Van Vliet, his name popped up in that piece. Yahoo Sports obtained documents pertaining to this FBI investigation. They detailed the expenses of Christian Dawkins at ASM Sports, and Van Vliet was shown to have received at least $1,000, at least according to the expense report obtained, and his stepfather Joe Danforth $2,000. Again, these expense reports obtained by Pete Thamel and Pat Forty from Yahoo Sports. Now, we spoke with Greg Marshall briefly about this before the game, and he said he was, in short, sad and disappointed about the situation. But of the other universities whose players are named in this investigation.
Yeah, there's a big difference between coaches offering recruiting inducements and a player maybe that goes off the rails and makes a bad decision in his senior year. And I would echo.
And Witt will shoot 2. Foul against Marcus. It's a great day of college basketball. You just hate to see the landscape marred as it's been. It's been a weird 24 hours, no doubt about it.
Well, like I said last night, walking into the arena, seeing Jimmy Witt working on his game, seeing Shake Milton wanting to come back, working on his game. These guys haven't done anything wrong out here. And we're going to celebrate the guys who are doing it right, night in, night out. That's why we're here, to showcase these great players here today.
with the improving free throw shooter with his 2. Reeves has been hot early, missed a long one, and Amelegu snatches the rebound away from McDuffie.
But SMU just keeps hanging around with that short bench. Decimated by injuries, but a gutty first half for Tim Jankovic and SMU so far.
7 scholarship players available, and they've all played. Win denied! Kelly came flying in for the block against the backboard. Connor Frankcamp's run the show with Chen on the bench due to 2 fouls. McDuffie. And a foul underneath.
Simple.
Measure missed it. And Amelegu was just barely in bounds. 2 fouls on Shagwa bring Akoy Agau back into the game.
Wichita State now going zone, communicating on the backside. Rashard Kelly talks as much as anybody defensively in this defense. Watch him, look how he's pointing. He's really on top of his communication game defensively.
Another slow developing possession, 5 to shoot for Witt. Landrum a 3. Rainbow goes. Elijah Landrum, only a 24% three-point shooter.
But he shot it well at East Carolina, and I saw his confidence bloom that night, just this week.
At a season high 11, the freshman was 3 for 5 from deep on Wednesday.
He hit one early in that game. You could see his body language.
Reeves, what'd you call him?
Sit down and shut up player.
He is the answer. Austin Reeves, 47% from deep. When he starts, Wichita State is 9-0 this year. Has taken the spot of Connor Frankcamp, who has seemed to find his shot again off the bench. Both Reeves and Frankcamp have given the Shockers an extra dimension. Tough shot, McMurray. Again, nearly 15 and a half over the last 7. Agau hit 7 in a row in a game as well earlier this year, Austin Reeves. That was a shocker win over Tulsa at home a couple of weeks back. But here is SMU still within 3. Hanging around, counter-punching, and having an answer for Wichita State. A game the Shockers must have to stay at least within a game of Cincinnati in the American Conference race.
Keep an eye on Austin Reeves.
Kelly knocked away Amelegu. McDuffie out of the fray. Off the back rim. And what do we... So score the basket for McDuffie. And Wichita State's lead is 5 with SMU able to hold the last shot.
Well, Jamal McMurray is your go-to guy, and he's got the ball in his hands right now. Backs up with Marcus McDuffie. McDuffie's healthy. He's booking move.
McMurray. It is SMU Mustang ball as we begin here in the second half. Mustangs shoot 11 for 23 in the first half. They were 6 of 12 from deep, but they turned it over. McDuffie spinning, fouled, and he's
2 weeks ago. Also, I was watching him defensively, and he's bursting right, bursting left. He's healthy now, and that's good news for Wichita State. That's how they can elevate again with their talented roster.
He's got a game-high 12, McDuffie, who has done this coming off the bench. He was off the bench to start. Greg Marshall moved him into the lineup for a few games. And then Zach Brown took that starting spot back over, and both have played fairly well since that move.
Well, Darrell Willis also started the second half. And
that was a collision that needed a cleanup. It's an SMU team that can't afford many of those. 7 scholarship players. McMurray went out for a spell in the first half, banged up, but came back in and hit 3 threes.
Watch the middle of the zone. Watch Rashard Kelly in particular. See if he fills those spots.
Kelly looking for the offensive rebound, tipped away.
I thought that SMU early in the half really struggled to limit Wichita State to 1 shot. They cleaned that up as the half went along, and I think that helped them get a few more possessions and opportunities for Jamal McMurray and company.
Here's McDuffie on McMurray, a 6'8" junior out of Patterson, New Jersey. Jimmy Witt taking it into the body of Reeves. And the rebound grabbed by Amelegu.
Jimmy Witt's got to take it. He's got space. He's got to take it. Passes it up.
Agau backing down Willis. Double team comes from Reeves. Agau 2 of 3 at the line in the first half. A man born in the Sudan.
You know, I saw him against Cincinnati. Of course, you called that game with Fran. Great job, by the way. And the thing I was so impressed with Landry Shamet is that Greg Marshall virtually changed his entire offense, set the high ball screen, then Shamet got to read everybody. I didn't think he was very aggressive here in the first half. Part of that is because SMU's playing zone. There's nothing to read as far as matchups go.
And Tim Dagovich hasn't traditionally played zone with SMU, but because they're down to 7 for the depth issues, for the height issues, they've gone to the zone, and you can find some soft spots in the zone, as McDuffie just did.
And it's in that 15 to 13-foot range, just below the free throw line, and about a 15-foot arc. That's the dead spot in that SMU zone.
Another long, patient possession for the Mustangs. Witt, right-hander off the left alley. Frankamp and Reeves, a little hot potato there, Mark, and Frankamp finishes.
Where Connor Frankamp is playing the best basketball of his career right now. The former Kansas transfer, his mid-range game has improved dramatically, and defensively had 3 steals, 3 key steals in that win over Tulane.
He tied a career high in that game with 5 two-point baskets and a couple of threes as well. He's also not missed a free throw on the year.
That's tough. Wow. All Marcus McDuffie can do is throw his hands up and smile and shake his head.
Greg Marshall might not be smiling. McMurray has his 4th three, and the last 2 have been elite-level difficulty. McDuffie, another answer from Marcus. Now at 16.
Well, Greg Marshall wants some energy right now. He wants to deliver a knockout punch, but number 0 in white is using Wichita State. Here he comes, there he is!
Off the screen! Got it! McMurray has 17 and the Mustangs 42. McDuffie, and back and forth they go. McDuffie, McMurray.
McMarvelous.
The season high for McDuffie for the 2nd consecutive game. And he's guarding McMurray, who just juked him out of his shoes.
This is fun. Remember, Shake Milton went for 33 on Wichita State. In the win at the Roundhouse. There it is again.
Left that one short, got his own miss. And Agau couldn't handle. McMurray's like the Energizer Bunny right now. He has not stopped moving offensively. Frankamp. Oh, whoa, the triple. A frenetic start to the second half has seen Wichita State extend a 2-point lead at the break to 9. Here's McMurray around Reeves. Knocked away. Frankamp was there, and Witt is fouled on the offense.
Doctor of Bracketology Lenardi, I've got a what-if question for you, and the entire state of Kansas is waiting for your response. If Wichita State wins out and wins the American, and Kansas comes in second, Yeah, I would too. In fact, that's happened before in the Sweet 16, and that turned out in Wichita State's favor. Joe, you know, you're right, I didn't. You're absolutely right. And Joe, you know me well. My wallet is tied to my hip, and I don't bring it out. I got alligator arms. Let's play the what-if game again, and you know how much I love to do more.
Monitors goes out. We'll give you the IT number.
Thanks, Joe.
Wichita State, meanwhile, has a lead of 11. The last basket came a few possessions ago. It was a three from Landry Shabbat. Ethan Shagwa just picked up his third foul for SMU. Austin Reeves a miss, and we get a foul.
I think that's what Tim Jankovic is upset about.
Landry Shabbat
Often cost Wichita State the game. I don't like guys getting penalized for blocking.
I'm with you, and I think Tim Jankovic has a right to be upset for that specific call. But as it costs him, SMU
Wichita State, that's a defense that's simply wearing down.
the run is 10-1 in favor of the Shockers. Outside of McMurray, SMU has had perilously little offense this half. Agau hits a three, his third of the year.
Came at a great time.
SMU continues to shoot it from deep collectively. This Shocker D has been susceptible to threes in the conference. McDuffie dials up an answer. Marcus McDuffie, sensational for the Shockers.
How good of a passer is Rashard Kelly from his position? He's one of the best in the country of assist-to-turnover ratio at his size as a power forward. He really has great vision, and that time found McDuffie.
He is the second leading assister on the Shockers, 2.6 per game for Kelly. Douglas with plenty of space, and it's a three-for-all.
Teams continue to shoot it well from the three-point line against Wichita State.
Why is that?
That time they got caught in rotations. They had no clue where to rotate to get to the ball side.
Shabbat, McDuffie, yes indeed! McDuffie lights out here at Moody.
And credit Wichita State for knowing who's hot and giving him the basketball. Smart.
He is 2 points shy of a career high. Last January against Loyola Chicago. 24 for McDuffie, nearly perfect from the field. Inside of Meligu, McDuffie got in the way. Douglas has it. I should get out there and test this theory.
Well, I know I'd break that streak. There'd be a brick up there somewhere.
Shabbat trying to find Kelly. Leads at two. There's an offensive rebound.
Shabbat who gets in the gap. Marcus McDuffie is 100% healthy.
Points in the win Wednesday over Tulane, which was a season high. McDuffie has done in 18 minutes today. A couple of steals as well. The only blemish, 4 turnovers for McDuffie, but with the 24 points, Wichita State will gladly take that.
Yeah, when you're 10 for 12 from the floor, you can sort of look past a few flaws here and there.
Not that Greg Marshall will look past those flaws fully this week. Wichita State hoping to win out to get a share at least to the American title. They get a UCF next week and then finish the regular season at home against Cincinnati.
Marshall comes out of that 2-3 zone. SMU found their rhythm with a Meligu from deep.
Ben Meligu has really exemplified SMU toughness this year. Playing with right wrist tendinitis, the Mustangs have admitted that Meligu would have missed at least a game by now if not for the sheer lack of bodies but the redshirt senior has not asked out. Morris and Wichita State has an answer every single time.
He shoots over 40% from behind the arc, and he's judicious about it. He doesn't take a lot of them, but when he takes them, he's wide open and shoots it with confidence.
What amazing improvement for Shaq Morris, too. I know you saw him early in his career in the Missouri Valley. He has become their go-to offensive player.
And the effort that he brings has been markedly improved as he runs the floor aggressively, just like that.
Kelly's pass off.
Our camera guy, his feet suck, too. If I saw Shaq Morris coming to me,
Big man, the reigning American Conference Player of the Week. It's 2. Right after our game, 4:15 Eastern, 3:15 Central. Kansas looks to clinch its 14th consecutive regular season title in the Big 12 against Texas Tech. A sonic blockbuster, followed by 5th-ranked Duke and Syracuse at 6:15 Eastern.
the biggest key to that game
Will play, but he's not 100%. Texas Tech can tie Kansas for the lead in the Big 12 to win today.
Kansas going for 14 Big 12.
It's hard to, as good as they've been.
That's terrible defense. That's god-awful defense. Jimmy Whipp just laid it up. Good job of recognition by number 31 for SMU.
Again, already playing with the injured right wrist.
He doesn't even look at Tim Jankovic. He don't want to come out. He's just going to play. He's going to play through it. Wichita State goes back to man-to-man now. Smart move.
Agau's already hit one from out there. Rebounder Shard Kelly. Landry Shaman. And McDonough flies in, tips the ball to Morris. Got it back, swirls. The fact that Bill Self has never been swept in a home and away by a Big 12 team in the regular season, that might be more shocking because all that takes is 2. You can get swept and still win the conference. But Kansas has had an unmatched streak of consistency among major conference teams. Can clinch at least a share of that 14th consecutive Big 12 title tonight.
One thing I know about Chris Beard's team, having covered him when he was at Little Rock, is that they will come out, they will deliver the first punch to the mouth. And we'll see how Kansas responds.
UCLA in the John Wooden era, you are doing something exceptionally right. And Kansas just last weekend in our Saturday primetime game was down big to West Virginia, but came back again, swept that season series. Both big comebacks against the Mountaineers. And now it's Morris on McMurray, and Douglas is fouled by McDuffie. A game up on them right now. The Bearcats host Tulsa tomorrow.
And then I have the Bearcats at Tulane. We're together on that.
I'll be with you, yeah.
That's right. We're together on that game. I didn't mean to leave you out of that.
No, that's okay. You're the lead. When people say, where are you going? I say, Mark Adams says Cincinnati, Tulane. And I just hang on. Ride the coattails.
You drove me from the airport, as a matter of fact.
I did.
Yeah, it was good. You're a good driver. You're a very good driver.
Except for the one time I almost got us into a crash.
Well, yeah. If that would have been on my side, you would have been fine.
I knew what I was doing.
That did make you a little nervous, I will say that.
McDuffie.
Look at Shaq Morris.
Double for Morris, who scoops it in. SMU no answer underneath.
He never stopped moving in pursuit of the basketball. Hard to block off Shaq Morris.
Potential. What you've seen in American Conference play has been a driven Shaq Morris.
Got a Band-Aid on his face. 3 years ago, he'd be laid out on a stretcher from that Band-Aid. I love the kid. He's a great young man, plays his tail off. He's developed into one of the great players in the country, Shaq Morris.
There are a lot of good guards in this conference, but if you're picking the 2 best forwards in the conference, Shaq might be up there with Gary Clark of Cincinnati. I think he's a first-team conference player. If not, he'll certainly be on the second team for the Americans.
So I'd go Gary Clark. I'd go Jacob Evans.
For those of you that like big round numbers.
What a season Rob Gray has had in Houston. Kelvin Sampson's done a tremendous job with Houston.
Floated by McMurray. SMU within 11. That Houston team, by the way, is a game behind Wichita State for second. They will head into this building Wednesday and have that game on ESPN2.
They lost at Memphis, and of course Jeremiah Martin now out probably for the season the way it looks. That's a tough loss for Tubby Stick.
And then UCF just sits together an 8-7 mark despite all the injuries that could steal a bid. Who is it?
So I'm going to go down even past. I like Tulsa. I think UCF has done a wonderful job defensively. Along with Cameron Reynolds, who can see over defenders. But you've got Jordan Cornish, who's a physical guard. That's a team that has the offensive firepower at times to give teams a lot of trouble.
And they gave Wichita State a lot of trouble Wednesday. Fell just 93-86. Willis just slapped it off the rim, but legally.
Tulane's hard to game plan against also because Mike Levy, his offensive sets, they keep coming at you, and they use their offense to expose mismatches. They do as good a job as anybody in the American of that.
Wichita State patient with the lead. Darrell Willis. Reeves around the screen. And here's the freshman Douglas for SMU. Ethan Chagwa back into the game with 4 fouls. Witt. This is not a Mustangs team right now that is accustomed to making up points in a hurry without Shake Milton.
Well, they appear to be a little bit gassed right now, too. And you see it on the offensive glass. I mean, Wichita State's just owning the offensive glass. SMU has no legs right now. None.
And that's Chagwa going up against Willis, playing with the 4 fouls.
West Virginia, at K-State, at Iowa State, now with an opportunity.
Paul McMurray hits the first for SMU, which was a team that had tournament aspirations. SMU had that win at Wichita State 5 weeks ago. Shake Milton went for 33. And before they lost at UConn January 25th, right after Jeray Foster went out, BPI had SMU at a 78% chance to make the tournament. Coming into today, SMU at 2.1%. Basically, they would need to.
Where Grace Snell and Marvin Bagley both got hurt for a 10-game period. Would we be having the same discussion about Duke as we are about SMU right now with their injury situation?
Well, Duke would have in all likelihood played a more difficult schedule in this hypothetical, right?
If they're playing in the ACC, they would play a more difficult schedule. But with those injuries, would they be more? Do it too. When I go get coffee, I see one brand, I see another brand, I go to the brand I want. And I think the selection committee does the same thing. Therefore, I think that all the resumes should be coded and not named to take as much brand bias out of the process as possible. And with the predictive metrics, you can also determine how good is SMU with Shake Milton versus how good they are without Shake Milton. Are they an NCAA tournament team with him? And he's going to be back. At some point, he's going to be back.
McDuffie, by the way, just tied his career high for Wichita State. Just say on that, number one, I think we could rate SMU not a tournament discussion right now, right? Yeah. If they had won a couple more games, if they were 18-10 instead, I think it's a fascinating question what they are without Milton, how much that impacts their seed. And the only other thing I would say, is it fair to a team that's in the same discussion of 100? I did like it. Eat Angry should be
1.6 assists to 1 turnover on the season, which is top 10 in the country. They share the ball tremendously well.
Landry Shamet, the conference leader in assists, still out there for Wichita State. With a lead of 15, closing in on 2 to play. Don't forget Kansas, Texas Tech coming up right after this game, the big one in the Big 12. Jimmy Witt.
It was interesting talking to Fran last week. Of course, you worked with him in Cincinnati. I saw him in Cincinnati, and we were talking about the Big 12 and just the tremendous depth in the Big 12 because Rich Hollenberg has covered it as well. There's just so many teams that can make deep runs in the NCAA tournament. But are any of them good enough to win the national title? I think that's a fair question.
Well, it's been a major weekend already against Texas Tech. And Tiger Woods' third round of the Honda Classic. Tiger, maybe in Saturday, is big now for a few weeks on the college basketball scene. That big one in the NBA tonight on ABC. Thunder and Warriors, you cannot miss great basketball at the college level, at the NBA level.
many years. But that's a UCF team that plays different because of their personnel, and they defend. They're so stingy defensively.
And Agau with the steal. Douglas lost it into the hands of Shagwell. McMurray, because of scholarship restrictions after some program violations when Larry Brown was the head coach. And last year they went 30-5, 7-5 again this year, but they were on their way to likely being a tournament team before Foster and Milton and Everett Ray, a backup forward, went down.
Yeah, they were 15-7 at that time, and you know they rolled the dice last year as far as health is concerned because they weren't deep last year either. But Semi Ojale, along with Sterling Brown, along with Shake Milton, I mean, they just kept winning games with a short bench, but they were good enough to do it.
Under a minute, the hand from the Shocker faithful. Nice contingent behind the Wichita State Bench American Athletic Conference.
Having witnessed Arch Madness for about a decade and watching the steady flow of Wichita State gear in any type of vehicle you can think of making its way to St. Louis that time, they'll be more than happy to go to Orlando, trust me.
McMurray with
And then Fran Dunphy, who has been the conference coach of the year in 2015 and 16. I mean, dude can coach.
Frank. And he's got the first. Connor Frankamp, 30 in a row for Wichita State from the line.
That's pretty good. 30 straight made free throws.
I'm sorry, he made 4 in a row today, so he's now at 32. He has a 30 coming in.
And he's got nearly a 5-to-1 assist to turnover ratio, which is the best for a career. He just doesn't have enough game time in order to break the NCAA record.
Jimmy Witt just hit his second three-pointer of the season. And Wichita State will hold the ball for the remaining 9 seconds. Get out of Dallas with a win. 6 in a row for the Shockers overall. But
American, the collision course of Wichita State and Cincinnati is still on the rails.
Well, now let's talk strategy. If you're Witt, you miss this one and you try to tip it out to the 7-point line. Seconds to go.
You brought some drama to that last one. You did. You brought drama.